Why, hello there. How are you doing today? What's your world looking? What's your world look like? Does it look like mine? Here, we're on a private little island of um, complete insanity. Well, and by island I just mean the whole world is. It's a bunch of us on this island, and this island is filled with. Well, for me right now, it's an empty theater. I've got a theater of empty seats, but if in my mind, if I just imagine people are sitting there, it could be fun. And I also got like, oh, it's got this, it's cozy over here. Thought I'd do a show from over here, and we'll talk about psychotic sycophants. And the I don't know why anybody calls them. I don't know why we call them the powers that be or the leaders. They're not really. Where are they leading us? If they are, and if there's a them and an us, and why do they exist? What's their purpose? Like, do you think they're living a purpose for a greater good or something? Are they living just for themselves? Are they just there doing all they can to better? Do you think they really believe the things that come out of their mouth? Do you think they believe that, or do you think it's just so natural? It's just a natural thing for them to just just spew hot garbage. And I know a thing or two about talking shit, but never have I ever used it to misguide people. Just think it's wrong. I mean, if there is a wrong and right, that's I don't know. My parents didn't raise me that way. I don't know what got into me ever that I would just you know tell people what I think, what I see, how to be, how to better navigate the world. You know, I don't know why that is, but there apparently is. It appears as such that there are a wild number of. Oh, we got some good music in the background, but that's all live right now. You guys want to go watch some live music? Pretty sure it's live. I think it's a jazz big band practice right now. But I'm curious to know about these psychopaths, psychotic psychopaths and sycophants. I'm curious to know. Do you think they really, these people on TV, are they really truly just there as self-serving? I don't know. And why is it that people, feign at their, is that the word feign? Feign? Is that right? Feign? They like fawn, kind of like, oh, if they're on TV, they're so important. Ah, of course they're, why would they lie to you? Is that people like that still exist? People still believe the nonsense. So the only conclusion is we are surrounded by people that are so insanely dumb that there's no hope for them, or they're so like mind controlled. Okay, there's nothing we can do about it. Or, well, I don't know what the other is. I think that's about the only answer, huh? Who's all up in here? RJ, what's up? So my old boy was raised in Hawaii. Oh no shit, that's hilarious. This is very interesting. Okay, let's get into this. He says, people who practice voodoo don't give the zombie salt or they would wake back up. Interesting. That's very interesting. See, the understanding that I have of salt in magic is you use it as like a barrier or a protection, but use it around you. You don't use it in the body. The giving. So you're saying that by giving zombies salt, it would wake them up? Is that like smelling salts? I can see the idea of smelling salt waking someone up, but interesting. Because obviously my view on salt is pretty firm about people shouldn't be consuming too much of it because it's in just about everything that we eat, so we get enough of it. Interesting. So you're saying that would wake up the zombies? I'll take a deeper view at it, but I've chewed on it for a while. The idea of salting things is very not not very good for the human system. at least sodium, there's an overabundance of sodium in everything. So if we look at the products that we're consuming, what do they have? They have fake sugar and a great deal of sodium, which imbalances the body. It's not that sodium or salt, as you'd call it, in and of itself is bad for the body. It's that it's so out of alignment with the other. I want to walk around, but my bag's sitting here, and I'm on an island, and I do trust people, but I don't feel like losing my bag right now. Because I was walking around, and then so I don't know what the hell they were on. There was a couple. You should have seen it. It was so funny. I think that there was a girl and a guy. I think the girl was on a bunch of mushrooms or acid or something. She was out her gordita. I just love saying that. She was out her gourd, out of her fucking mind, running around, or she was maybe just a slight bit retarded. And the guy she was with, I think, was on meth. But nonetheless, so I walked away. So I could have lost my bag. I don't know what those junkies are gonna do. But the salt thing is in proportion to potassium, magnesium, and think about it. It's Mg and K. So remember, Mg is magnesium, K is potassium. Magnesium and potassium are nighttime elements. So you want to be. This is why people eat chocolate-covered bananas, right? Because chocolate has magnesium and bananas have potassium. It balances out your internal and your intracellular and extracellular fluid in your blood. And then sodium and calcium are daytime elements. But see, we have so much sodium in our diets that people they have an imbalance. They have a magnesium deficiency, probably a potassium deficiency, I would guess, but sodium overabundance, which keeps the fluid in the body it's not balanced properly. The intracellular and extracellular fluid should be swapping positions come day and evening, and that's why the moon has a pulling effect on certain things. It's kind of a succubus, so it's actually pulling something out of the intracellular fluids. And if you have sodium in the diet, too much sodium. It's not gonna make an exchange between the intra. Fun things out here, yeah. Oh yes. So yeah, RJ, that's interesting. They would wake up if you gave them salt. Well, it could be, if the spell that, like, okay, if you cast a spell on somebody or use a certain type of hoodoo or voodoo, depending on what kind of, doesn't really matter. It's all a magical conjuring of sorts. But if you're the one that's casting the spell, then salt would be what that would be your choice of how to counteract the spell. So it could be, but oh man, this is an interesting. You guys want to see this guy? What is this? Let me flip this around real quick. All right, look at him. Can you see him? He's like red and then black. What is that? That's an ant, right? But why is he red in the front and black in the back? What's that about? Probably don't want to get stung by that guy. All right, let me flip this around so you see my dumb face. All right. Succubus. There we go. So I'm talking about the moon as a succubus. Yeah, man. Well, you can be succubus in a different direction. I've had a lot of. Think about every day of your life, man. You have ups and downs. And some days are really good days, and you're on an upward spiral towards something. And some days it's a very draining moon thing, right? And what just happened? I had a fucking really weird day yesterday, and the day before. I was talking about the black moon and the fact that it's a new moon. It was a new moon last night, and how certain types of energies exist when there's a new moon. And so most people would say, well, the full moon brings out lunacy, like lunar people, crazy people, because it's offering a type of energy. So it pulls people out from their houses, it sucks them out, right? Where the no moon has a certain quality, and I had a really it was really interesting because I was around an old dude that I could tell he was about to very soon die. It overwhelmed me, and so I was just playing him all this music and introducing him some cool shit, and and but I could just feel it. It was really weird. It was the strangest thing, and I was like, I wonder if he, you know, if he took the journey in the boat to go, I don't know, maybe to Egypt. You know how that works. And then weighed his heart against a feather. Yeah, I mean that's all allegory though. You know, it's not that. You know, stay lighthearted. You know, do they mean light? Do they mean in weight? When they said stay lighthearted, do they mean in weight, or did they mean literally the brightness? You know how the Care Bears that would up and throw that energy out of their chest? Yeah, your heart should be light. Hmm. Oh, Jay Marley, yeah, I'm digging around. I just don't feel like putting my book bag on, or else I'd walk around here. This is just a tiny little island, but it's pretty badass. Um, it's right. It's close enough. See, during the summer, it's great because it's close enough to the coffee shop. So if you got to go piss or something, but because of this shit now, the coffee shop ain't even really open. I mean, you can go get stuff from there, but they're not. You can't go outside. But yeah, this is a little island right here, man. It's pretty fresh. I like this tree a lot because it's sitting here in the water. Let's go out the side of the water right there. Yeah. I'm curious as this island, what it was at its peak, like when people were like, okay, if I look at this path, it's obviously very worn in, and then I can see some, like when this was, where is it at? Where there it is, this thing right here. When was that erected, and what was its purpose originally? And it looks like it's probably it looks like it might go deeper in its lighthouse, but I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. I told you guys that I would go in here last time, and it was. Hold on. I could be. Hello, is anybody in here? Is anybody home? Oh, they did this. Oh, really? Now they bolted that joint shut. Well, okay. You guys can't see in there right now. So yeah, I mean, look, it's just all like, it's kind of like falling apart, kind of sloppily done. Like, what's that about? You know? Here we got this right here. Drainage. Interesting. So I wonder when this was like in full use, like what the purpose was. Like how long have these little benches been here? Oh. Yeah, Jeff Fritzen. Yeah, that last night was the new moon. Yeah. What's up, Tammy Wheat? Who's Jeff? That's the most hilarious thing. That's the most hilarious thing because literally, it's probably what it was used for, and probably why they put they screwed it shut. Because I used to come over here, and like, yeah, there's lots of little spots where all the junkies hang out or whatever, and that looks somewhere definitely where, I mean, I never seen any needles in there or anything because I've been in there before, but it definitely I could see fucking junkies shooting up the heron. At first I thought you said heron, like the birds, the herons, and I was like, oh, heron, okay, yeah. I don't know anything about it, never done it. I mean, other than I'm sure it probably gives the same kind of high as if you were to find a girl that you're in love with and she's a heroine, right? So that there's a very similar. Yeah, I've definitely. So in that case, if I shot myself up with, I fucking hate needles, but I've definitely been stuck by a heroine, but like too much love, too much Jove. Yeah, it's an interesting feeling, when they're talking about it in like the Matrix, like it's just all these chemical reactions occurring. But why though? But why? How does that occur? Like, there's things that I visually find absolutely stunning. Women, men, Puppies, I fucking, that amazes me. I look at all sorts of things, but there's not this certain kind of that you know, that kind of love that you have. That it's just something else. What is that? It's hard to explain. I mean, who was it? They wrote the 4 types of love. And I think there's a few more than that, but the 4 major ones are love that you have for your parents, love that you would have for a child, love that you have for a friend, and love that you have intimacy, like for a wife, right? Those are the 4 major. It was Lewis Carroll. There you go. There's the author. Good book. Yeah, like where's that other extra part come in? Like, because you don't feel that way about everybody. Oh, I mean, there is. Well, and you know what? I screwed that up. There is the universal love too. I think that's I think the familia would be like you love your mother, or you love your children. It's kind of similar, but the universal love that you have just for everyone as a species. There's that. I don't know if that's if he had that in his book or if I'm adding that. It makes it easier. Yeah, it's to repopulate. Yeah, because somebody gets a, yeah, I guess. Oh no. I mean, if that was the case, I mean, why don't I have thousands of kids? You know, how many people have you laid down with in your life? You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know, because I know, pull out king, right? And I'm very interested in, now that we're talking about repopulating the earth. Can we next time, if we're gonna do this experiment again, next time can we repopulate it with I don't know, intelligent people? Oh wait, we don't. That's right. You have to control them and manipulate them and teach them, and that's right. They're not born that way, huh? Interesting. But somehow I'm interested as a subject. I'm interested in the inventoriums. Is that what they call them? You know, the back in the 1900s. Looking at John Levy's work, he always points at these things a lot. And I'm like, whoa, that's gnarly, dude. And by gnarly, dude, what I mean is like, yo, were there babies? Were there like test tube babies in the early 1900s? Were they coming from underground? Why were they showing live babies on display? What is that about? So people could buy them and adopt them? What were they adopting? Was it just? I mean, how did they have such how many babies? There's just hundreds of babies. Just like, here, come look at the babies. Like, what? Where's the mothers? They couldn't have just all been birthed at the same time, unless, of course, that was done in a laboratory. Man, that's a whole ball of worms. So I've really enjoyed the thoughts of what adoption is and all of this, and like what people are that are created from you know the mother and the father in a womb, or versus like a scientifically created baby. Whew. I've been very curious about that for a long time. It's hard. You know, I've done a lot of the research on it. It's hard to like really pinpoint. Oh, there we go. We got a band going today. Yes, maybe yep, they might be playing right now. I might walk over there and go listen to some band. No, actually they're not. They're drum majors. Oh, what are they doing? They got sticks. They're gonna just beat each other with those things. Sorry, you can't see what I can see, Wes. So yeah, my curiosity lies in the repopulation of the earth during different time periods, resets. Very interested in why people look the way they do, and which means to me is it's like, well, the intervention theory by Lloyd Pye. How much of what we're looking at with other people and ourselves, how much of it was driven by like laboratory, you know what I mean? Like a laboratory labor. How much is it driven by science? Like really, like you see 2 animals are like, hey, let's fuck and make a litter of puppies. Okay, why did they choose to do that? It's a little different, right? The book that comes to mind about that idea, that as Jeff was saying earlier, that the reason we're attracted is to repopulate. Well, here's the funny thing about animals is you can look into the book called, Pottinger's Cats. It's a study in nutrition about and how each generation, if it doesn't have the mother's milk, it'll get to a point where the mother cat won't feed the cats and let them die. But no matter how degenerate the cat becomes, after a few generations, I think it's 5 generations, they stop feeding them. But even as their whole body starts to become decayed, their claws, they just don't. They're not rectilinear anymore, and their body is out of balance. And if you take one of the 5th generation cats, I believe, and you start feeding that cat healthy milk again. So what they did is they tested it this way by feeding cooked food and all sorts of they pasteurized the milk and they cooked food, and that's what they started feeding them. And they immediately they started dying younger. They started being tore up. Right? You could take one of those and start feeding it raw milk from the mother, and then after a couple generations, the next cycle of cats, like 3 generations, it'd be back to perfect catness. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully she will understand that I'm making a video. Let's see how much juice I got on here. Oh, I got a little bit of juice for you guys. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, Jay, I'm obviously it's fucking no Cali. Well, man, hey, take it day by day, man. I mean, you also got the food of the gods in you right now. You know, make if that's what you really want to do, if you want to make that happen, fucking, wish it into the world. Yeah, and if whatever, man, for sure though. You need to get out of Florida for a little bit. Yeah, Florida's a weird place. Yeah, man. I know. There you go, Jeff. This place is buzzing crazy. We have to work for food tickets. Isn't that? There we go. It's Jeff. You've hit the proverbial nail directly on the head of it. Right. Look at I'm just surrounded by is everything edible here? But you know how easy it would be to be in we are in the Garden of Eden that has an overlay of all of this. Here, take me. You need to do something. Go do that job, and I'll give you this ticket, and then you can have some food. It's quite a bizarre conundrum where we have with that system, huh? I'd have a couple conversations with people about capitalism in the past few days, because they're saying capitalism and competition spurs creation and helps society. I was like, oh, not this conversation again. I thought this was drowned out years ago. I mean, we live in a capitalist system, but I don't think anybody really appreciates it. Like even the only people that really go, well, are the rich people. Everybody else, oh, hi, what up, little squirrel? You guys want to play with the squirrel? Hi, what are you doing? Yeah, it's well, there is this thing called the J curve, and it has to do with the economic system and this capitalist system, and it's like 100-year. It's like a 100-year thing where every 100 years, because of what's going on with the currency and capitalism, is after inflation and interest and income tax, it gets to a point where the system has to become. Look at him, he's right here. I'm gonna see if he. Where is he at? Right there? Where is he? Oh, where did he go? Damn it, he ran away. Okay, what is he right there? Anyways, okay. So yeah, the system has to reset. It can't. Capitalism can't last. Capitalism is it abuses resources. It provides. It's a wasteful system. It's wasteful and abusive towards humans, and the system itself is I don't know, is destructive in the worst ways. It's not beneficial. You know how far we should be ahead of what's going on right now if it was so helpful for innovation. If it was, then why doesn't, if we're so inventive and we have so much in this abundant world, then why doesn't everybody have a decent standard of living. Why is that? Capitalism's so great. Who's it great for? It's great for a very small number of people. And then people that, even people enslaved by the system, they'll still mimic they'll still go parrot the capitalism's good, communist, suck, for socialism, communism, bah. Yeah. In the new system, the government won't own the water and the land. Every river should be just lined with gardens. There we go. I'm with you, Jeff. I know what this place is supposed to look like. You know, but what can I do? I'm just one dude. All I can do is talk all this shit, which happens to not be shit. It's actually quite a genius. It's quite a high level functioning autistic savant level. But yeah, it could be. And here's the thing is, for people that are in that capitalist system with a lot, while other people have little, they wouldn't lose their power. You know, that's the thing, is they would gain power. It's all about the. Do you know who? Oh, you know what? Hey, check it out, guys. I'm gonna come back on here in a little bit. I gotta answer this phone call because if she calls me more than once, I need to answer. So I'm gonna come back here and we're gonna go further on this. So feel free to jump back on here in about, I don't know, like 15 minutes or so. And we'll get farther into this, the pasteurization, which has to do with pastors too. Louis Pasteur is a pastor, yep. But when I come back, we'll further this talk on that system right there. Peace out, guys. Talk to you soon.